Hi guys, welcome to today's session, and today we are going to discuss about convalescent plasma therapy or CPT. I hope all of you know about this CPT. It is much discussed in the times of COVID-19 pandemic, and in this session we'll first see what is convalescent plasma therapy, and then we'll discuss how is it done, and then we'll see what are the WHO guidelines on CPT, and then we'll discuss the history of CPT in treating other pandemics, and finally we discuss CPT, how CPT is used in India. So this is how I plan this session. Let's now start. So the basic idea behind this therapy is that immunity can be transferred from a healthy person to a sick person using convalescent plasma. So now in plasma therapy, plasma is the liquid part of blood, and convalescent plasma extracted from the blood of patients recovering from an infection. So in this case of COVID, blood is extracted from a fully recovered COVID patient to isolate plasma rich with antibodies, and this plasma is then infused into bloodstream of other coronavirus patients, because the plasma or the blood of recovered coronavirus patients contains antibodies against the coronavirus. So this plasma is then infused into the bloodstream of other coronavirus patients, and that's how this therapy is done. And when the body gets into contact with external pathogens like bacteria or germs, it automatically triggers a defense mechanism releasing antibodies. And according to research, immunity develops early in asymptomatic or persons with mild symptoms, while it develops later in severe and critically ill COVID-19 patients. And also research in China found that this therapy effective in treating COVID patients. The research found that plasma infused in 10 adult patients with severe symptoms in Wuhan, which is in China, was well tolerated and could significantly increase or maintain neutralizing antibodies at a high level. So positive results from China encouraged other countries including US to test the effectiveness of this therapy against COVID-19, and it was a major topic of discussion all around the globe, and in India also we debated much on this, and we'll now see how is it done. We already discussed in the introduction part how the CPT is made. The process to infuse plasma in a patient can be completed quickly. It only requires standard blood collection practices and the extraction of plasma. If the whole blood is donated, that is 350 to 400 ml, a blood fractionation process is used to separate the plasma. Otherwise, a special machine called apheresis machine can be used to extract the plasma directly from the donor. While the blood is indeed extracted from the donor, the apheresis machine separates and extracts the plasma using a plasma kit, and the remaining blood components are returned into the donor's body. So this is how it is made. And now we'll discuss what are WHO's guidelines in conducting the CPT. WHO issued guidelines in 2014 which mandates a donor's permission before extracting plasma, and plasma from only recovered patients must be taken, and the donation must be from people not infected with HIV, hepatitis, syphilis or any infectious diseases. And if whole blood is collected, the plasma is separated by sedimentation or centrifugation and then injected in the patient. If plasma needs to be collected again from the same person, it must be done after 12 weeks of the first donation for males and 16 weeks for females. So that is the major guidelines of WHO regarding the CPT. Now we will see CPT in the history of treating other pandemics, like in which all diseases CPT is used as a treatment mechanism. CPT is a classic adaptive immunotherapy which has been applied to prevention and treatment of many infectious diseases for more than 1 century. Over the past 2 decades, CP therapy and similar treatment was successfully used during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, a diphtheria outbreak in 1920s, a flesh-eating bacteria epidemic in 1930s, and also treatment of SARS, MERS, and 2009 H1N1 pandemic with satisfactory efficacy and safety. And a meta-analysis from 32 studies of SARS coronavirus infection and severe influenza showed a statistically significant reduction in mortality following CP therapy compared with no therapy. And it was tried most recently for Ebola but was unable to significantly improve the survival in it. Since the virological and clinical characteristics share similarity among SARS, MERS and COVID-19, now CPT is seen as a promising treatment option for COVID-19 rescue. So that is about the history of this CPT, and now we'll see how CPT is used in India. The Indian Council of Medical Research has warned against indiscriminate use of CPT for treating COVID-19. ICMR study has found convalescent plasma was not associated with a reduction in progression to severe COVID-19 or all-cause mortality. While the use of this therapy seemed to improve the resolution of shortness of breath and fatigue in patients with moderate COVID-19, this did not translate into a reduction in 28-day mortality or progression to severe disease. So the authorization of convalescent plasma as a treatment for COVID-19 in India has led to questionable practices such as calls for donors on social media and the sale of convalescent plasma on the black market. These issues are ongoing, and the ICMR has been cautious because of the trial findings. However, those guidelines are not necessarily binding, and it is too early to dismiss convalescent plasma theory. But there are other issues like the black market trade and calls for donors on social media, etc. So this has to be addressed. That is the status of CPT in India. So that is it. That's all about today, guys. So this topic is very important in this year's exam as it was much discussed related with the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's all. We'll meet tomorrow with another topic. Thank you for watching this lesson.